everybody. Welcome back to another one. Not the usual truck, but gotta go make this run today. My truck's still in the shop. We're still waiting for the 18-speed transmission to come in. As of Friday, it was still being built, but they said that they're going to deliver it on Monday. And there's a few more things that I'm going to have them do while the truck is there anyway. Sleepy out here this morning. We got this snow that came out of nowhere yesterday, well, out of the sky, but I was actually looking at the weather yesterday morning when I woke up. I was supposed to help a buddy of mine move, and then I did. I look at the weather, it said 2 to 4 inches. I'm like, bullshit. There's April Fools in freaking February? Sure as shit. At my house, we got about 4 inches. I asked the nice people at AGA for a truck, and they gave me a truck to at least run my run today. This week I'm only running Monday and Thursday. Hopefully the truck will be done by Thursday, which it should. So obviously, apart from the transmission, I'm having to do a few things. While the transmission's down, it's just a lot easier to get to. A couple of the exhaust pipes are pretty old, and I thought they were better than what they were, and I should have done them when I did the truck initially. But we'll get taken care of right now. It used to be a water-cooled transmission on there, and I'm having them switch that to an air-cooled system. Just less thing to go wrong, I guess. So this truck, I did have to clean it a little bit. I had to clean it quite a bit. It was just, filthy in here, man. I don't know. I guess it's a mental thing for me. If the truck's not like at least clean and organized inside, I can't. Although I'm only driving it for a day, I still wanted to get it cleaned out. It seems like I'm more comfortable like when everything is kind of clean. Like I enjoy driving it more. I know it's weird. Trust me, when I hear myself, I think I'm crazy too, but the roads out of Detroit this morning weren't great when I came to load. Now it looks like they kind of threw some salt down. At 696 yesterday, there was a 50-car pileup when the snow started coming. I mean, it started coming like heavy, and the visibility was pretty poor. And it's just one of those things where if you're not driving the visibility, it's pretty easy to get into an accident. So just be careful out there, you guys. Whether you're driving your small car or big truck, whatever. Truck's another automatic. It's another DD15 Detroit diesel. know, it's still got the Freightliner BS, the rattling of the cabinets and shit. But how she does. As far as fuel mileage, I kind of reset it just to see what it was going to do. There and back, so I'm going there with 43,000 and a little bit. And then coming back, I don't know yet. Anywhere between, I don't know, 10 to 33. 10's the least that I've ever gotten from there. And it's only once. Usually it's been between like 22 and 33. Guys, well, just got unloaded. A little ticked off, to be honest with you, with this freaking load. So they canceled the rest of the week for me, which is not great. But depending on where Tony, my mechanic, is with the W9. Hopefully, we can get that thing done today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday. What I'll probably end up doing is I'll go unload, and then I'll go on the road for a couple of nights. Make a little bit of money. And obviously, now with my wife giving birth, she's on unpaid leave, unfortunately. So, gotta have some kind of money, coming in. A little frustrated, but. I mean, I guess it is what it is. I'm sure we'll get it to go up a little bit on the way back, but we'll see by how much. The speed bump's still there. gotta get a little bit of fuel on the way back at DEF. I'll leave it nice and filled up for those guys. And plus, where I usually get fuel is a little bit cheaper than what it is close by them. A lot of these trucks now, they pretty much run around Lansing. They don't go on the road anymore. They're rotated between multiple drivers and multiple shifts, and they do a lot of dedicated stuff, which is great. You know, these guys get to go home every night. Trucks don't get to go on the road a whole lot, so there's not a lot of idle time. The loads that they, you know, these trucks usually do are pretty light, and it's working out pretty good for these guys. I'm happy for them, man. I really am. So because how close to Lansing they sit, there's only a couple of major truck stops there. The fuel is pretty high, and it jumped up again. Fuel at the major truck stops in Michigan was at 420 this morning, which today's Monday the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys out there. I gotta remember not to forget to buy my wife something on the way home. Otherwise I'll be in deep shit. Wouldn't be the first time though. So the next thing that I'm looking at for the channel, and obviously something to do, not to mention that it's a huge passion of mine, you know, obviously cars. So I haven't had a sports car in a while. The last one I had was back in 06. I only had the car for about a year, but I bought a 05 Pontiac GTO, my first ever brand new car. And had that for a year. I started school a little bit far away. It was about a 100-mile round trip. So I had, you know, unfortunately had to sell the car. You know, fuel was on the rise back then. And it went up even more after that, as I'm sure you guys remember. That was the last like two-door sports car. I mean, I've had a few AMGs in between that, and I do love them. It just, you can't get them in an automatic. I'm not a huge, you know, fan of an automatic. Although, you know, automatics now, especially the double clutch, you know, dual clutch automatics, you're not going to beat that for speed. I don't care how good a driver you think you are with a manual. It's just the experience of it all. But anyway, I'm looking at two options. I'm either going to be looking at a 98 2002 Camaro. I've had a Camaro before, SS, but it was a 97. I want the new front, so to speak, and then the LS, you know, engine versus the LT, which was the old ones. Or I'm going to be looking at an 03 or 04 Terminator Cobra, Mustang Cobra. I love those things. I tried to get one way back in the day. I just wasn't in the cards. But, you know, they've held their value incredibly well, which is not great for buyers, great for sellers. So I may go that route. And then just something, obviously for the channel, we'll modify it and do things to it as we go along. Maybe, hopefully, maybe a track day or two. I haven't done that in a really, really long time. It's been, God, which I'd love to do again. So maybe we'll have a little bit of fun with it, and then, you know, at the same time is maybe a little bit something else for the channel versus just me going to Chicago and back every freaking, you know, week. Hell, I'm not that interesting of a person to listen to. But we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of, you know, just looking at the market now and seeing what's available out there, and then, you know, what prices. My wife Veronica wants me to get a convertible. I want a hardtop. I love the convertibles when the top is down. I don't like the look of convertibles when the top is up. So most likely it'll be a coupe, which if I go with a Camaro, the great thing about it is you can get them in T-tops, still save that same look, but still be able to take the tops off, in some nice weather. Also with, LS based, LS engines, modifications are endless, which I truly enjoy, modifying cars. It's not just the work itself, but it's also like just the end result of just knowing you took something from just X and you brought it to Y with whatever you have for vision or whatever the case is. Kind of the same thing with the semi trucks. Hell, I could buy a Volvo or one of these Cascadias, and I'm still going to put the EJ Touch. It'll probably still be bagged in the front and slammed to the ground. It'll be a custom interior for sure. So I always have to just, like I said, just put the EJ Touch in place. And I've done that with everything that I've owned. Cars, bikes, hell, mopeds. Or not a moped, a scooter, like a 50cc, 49cc scooter. My English not so good. Gotta get some fuel. I don't think it doesn't look too busy over there. Alright, did get a little bit of go-go juice. Got some DEF. I don't get to get DEF very often. Not with my old ass truck anyway. I'm glad about that. Oh man, it is cold outside. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this one. If any of you are new to the channel and you like what you see, consider subscribing. Hit the thumbs up button or thumb if you don't like the video. Hit the notification bell so there's a notification sent to you when there's a new video coming up. Again, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.